Hey everyone, Hans here. Hope you're all doing well. It's still the Yule season, and I'm going to make 2 more videos before the Yule season is over, just in time to begin the new year, at least by the Gregorian calendar. But that's a bit of a side story, I guess. And yeah, I'm going to make 10 recommendations to the guys in this one, and the next one is going to be for the girls. Recommendations are for you to take up if you please, or leave them be if you think you've already achieved that and or have already gone on those paths. It's all up to you. So my 10 recommendations. Oh, and maybe real quick, this video is also a bit of a response to all those content creators out there who are making videos where it's really oriented about men versus women, and women should do this and women should be that, and it usually comes back down to very shallow points. Women should be physically pretty, and men should have tons of money. It's really, in my eyes, it's really shallow. It seems uninformed in a certain sense as well, and I had to make a video like this because it needs a counter. Because I already see it on the I already sense it on the wind, if you will, that if there aren't more sane voices that think a bit more deeply about this, and if I'm one of those, so be it, that put down the brakes for what well may be a horrible future for all women and broken females both, and a horrible future for good men, but a very pleasant future for evil men, manlets. And I'm not gonna have any of that. So here goes. Well, and in case someone wonders, it's like, I love our women. I love my people. And half of them happen to be women and girls. I won't let them be hurt. Not on my watch. It's not gonna happen. So, there we go. 10 recommendations for the guys, and hopefully I gain a few brothers of the heart or brothers of the soul, however you want to call it, in the process. We'll see. Recommendation number 1: enlarge your vocabulary. The more words you know, the broader you can think. You will also refine your ability to process your inner ongoings, alleviating stress, depression, all of that, and easing yourself into discipline and having a clearer view of the world around you. Seems pretty important if you want to survive, if you ask me, and to thrive on top of that. Recommendation number 2: have the people in your life that embrace the same values. It is wiser to bond with people because they have overlapping virtues and a similar morality. Mind the biospirit of your specific race that you hail from. Through these men, women, and children, you can build that which outlives you, a community, and through that community, a legacy. And this will also help you to differentiate between women and broken females. There is too many who cannot tell the difference, and it is really alarming. Be in nature. That is recommendation number 3. It heals the soul to be by yourself. Can you do that? Do you have that ability to just sit by yourself and enjoy that time? Definitely worth working on. Breathe deep, chop wood, build yourself a campfire without the easy ways to do it, and learn to live by yourself, learn to survive by yourself without any help for at least a few days. It will give you confidence, and it will show you that at rock bottom you still have some basic skills that will see you through for a while. Until you get back to your brothers or whatever it's going to be. Also mind the realms of your people, and history will inform you that these realms are not always dictated by lines drawn on a map. You make of that what you want. Recommendation number 4. Protect the deserving only. How many fell for a society in which they are a fading memory and their grandchildren are being demonized as we speak? How many have scars from fights that they fought on behalf of thankless individuals? You should be deaf to the cries of the leeches and the would-be controllers of your strength, both the strength of body and mind. Recommendation number 5. Remember your ancestors. Maintain your lineage or lose it forever. Perun, Ilmarinen, Wodan, Jupiter, Ares, the Dagda, among many other deities, show that you are a child of divinity and that you can aspire to godhood. You only have to reach forwards to it. And perhaps, and this is a bit of an aside, but not 100%, throughout history there have been non-whites who have aligned with Westmen, aligned with Western philosophy, died on the same battlefields, all of that. Because they understood, from their perspective, that there is something inherently noble about the Westmen. And they wanted to garner that nobility in a sense, not by stealing it, not by pretending to be noble, but by learning and pursuing it in their own way. These, few as they are, I would argue, earn a few flowers on their graves as well, as certainly as our own graves do. I think that is fair, and that does not mean that we have to bend over for anyone, doesn't mean we have to allow white erasure of any kind or all of that. It is simply thank you for standing by our ancestors. I think that is fair. Recommendation number 6. What to look for in our women. I would argue emotional independence, tidiness, warmth, self-assurance, a joyfulness. A woman that applies her beauty to inspire others to great deeds, not only the men, but older women and the young. And of course, women who have a natural understanding of the world. Not these, let's just say, not the fools who think that they can punch through a brick wall or what all of that nonsense. We all have our place in nature, and it is, it does lead only to pain and depravity and confusion and anything evil when you step away from nature, when you pretend that you are separate from it in any way. Recommendation 7. It's an easy one, I would say. Eat well. Avoid vegetable and seed oils, and maybe I should add real quick, I'm not some kind of professional. Check your doctor. Be wary of when you listen to this. I do not know what I say. Hanz might be lying, all of that stuff. Okay, have we gone through it? Right. So, avoid vegetable and seed oils and also processed sugar. Instead have natural sugars and bake with tallow and that sort of thing. Suet, I guess, is another word. Lard. That's what you go for, or ought to go for. That's a recommendation. Try to eat seasonal dishes that are congruent with the ancestral land that you come from. If you hail from, I don't know, let's say Norway, what have you, just throwing a country at it. If you come from Scandinavia, well, your dish is probably going to include something like blueberries and moose and pig and that sort of thing. rabbit hair, apples maybe, those sort of things. Then look at in which season it would have been more prevalent. And bear in mind, cattle rearing and all of that, I guess. And in that, you will be somewhat informed, not 100%, because your ancestors, might have come from this particular region where a certain plant or animal species does not appear, but in other parts of Scandinavia it would have, this. So it's not 100%, but it gives a general view at what your ancestors would have eaten, and thus what you have evolved to eat will be found there. Same for wherever part of the world you come from. And you do with that as you please. Yeah, and keep cattle and garden, grow your own garden. In short, make sure that you can grow your own food. That does not need to mean that you yourself have to do everything. You ought to have neighbors to trade with and all of that stuff. Alleviate monetary stress, I would say. That will help you. Recommendation number 8, dealing with trauma. Oh boy, that's one we don't like to hear, do we now? But here is the truth of the matter. You have been hurt. Your ancestors have been hurt. And that hurt is carried on in your body and even in your psyche. If you want to be an authentic self, Nietzsche's greater man, and you're going to have to face that pain. And then, once you have overcome that, like any good man should overcome, you will be rewarded with actually being yourself, maybe for the first time in your life for some of you. May want to look into that. And if you have any questions, well, you leave it underneath the video. Recommendation number 9, pursue freedom and respect the freedom that you already have. And what do I mean with freedom? Because it's a bit of a vague one, isn't it? I would argue, be free from the yoke of the miserable that seek to control you, and exercise the freedom, that you already have. What that means is basically, it depends on the. It depends on where you live and how regulations work there and blah blah blah. But work towards the freedom to have a dignified life. And that means that you have a minimum of intrusion from anyone else around you. Doesn't matter if they wear a badge, doesn't matter if they wear nothing at all. Maybe some clothes, perhaps, but it should not matter. You have a natural freedom that was given to you by nature itself, and respect nature and hold on to that freedom. And number 10, recommendation number 10, accept the unknown. Kinsmen die, cattle dies, you yourself will die. But that which forever stays alive is the legacy of great men, or the legacies of great men, carried forth in the memory of their descendants for as long as the lineage, the extensive family lasts. Well, that's it. Those are 10 recommendations that I give you. I hope that they are a little bit more in depth. Or I shall put it differently. I'd like to argue they're a little bit more in depth what you're going to regularly find on the internet. I wonder why I'm being shadow banned so much. And of course this is still the surface. I make the recommendations, but I cannot go deeper into it for now. I hope in the coming year that I will make that possible. I know I've been talking about it for so long. It has been really something I want to make happen. Unfortunately, I am held back in my own life, if you will, by all manners of factors, some personal, others societal. You know this, you probably have a good guess what that, at least in part, could be about. And yeah, for now it's going to have to be as it is with what I can give you here. But hopefully I will also make it possible to have more direct conversations with other men. And we can explore this deeper for everyone's benefit. Is there anything else? Well, this is my video for the men, I already mentioned it. Another one before Yule ends is going to be for the women. The women themselves might get something out of this video as well, because, well, I would argue that a good lot of what I just mentioned is going to be useful for them as well, in their personal lives and in their social lives. Is there anything else? Oh, yeah, I'm going to say it again. I I have been writing, or I have finished my first book, Thunraz the Thulian, and it's going to be out around next year, 2023 in February, maybe a bit sooner. We'll see. We'll see how the negotiations go. But so far, all is going well. Working with DVX has really been helping me out. I'll leave it in the box thingy below. I forgot what it's called. Where I have a bit of an explanation there, and you can go look it up if you want. And so far, I will thank everyone who has already been spreading the word. It's the only way for me to get anywhere with it. So thank you very much. It is a wish of mine that has come true, to be an author and to do more for people that way. And I'm really happy that could happen. That I can finish my year 2022 with something that is built up. Yeah, and the future is looking bright for me, even though it's a bit dark, but that's fine. I hope that all of you will make your futures bright as well. If any of this was new to you and any of these recommendations, I would say explore it, do something with it. It might just change your entire life around for the better, or even be like an extra pathway for you to go into when you might be in a point where you do not even know what to do anymore. With that said, I'm going to continue on my walk, and yeah, next one is gonna be for the ladies, so stick around for that one, I guess, and talk to you all soon. Bye bye.